Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So Leonard Williams is a big decision. Are we going to re-sign him? We had the chance to re-sign him last year. And we probably would have had him at about 15, 16 million a year, but we wanted to kind of fight him. He didn't necessarily have the production as far as the stats, but he's consistently been towards the top. I mean, he's only trailed people like Aaron Donald and Chris Jones for pressures. He's been consistently up there with pressures. He's been consistently up there with hits, and we don't have anybody on our team that's half as good a pass rusher, from down to down as he is. When he got here, he immediately made the pass rush better. He's probably one of the bigger reasons why we were, I think, top 16 in sacks this year. We were consistent as far as, not being horrible in the pass rush, but not necessarily being next level. And that's really the decision. I mean, Leonard Williams by himself isn't going to turn this defensive line into a hellacious defensive line. He's not Aaron Donald. He can't do that by himself. So that's something that you definitely have to consider when you think of bringing him back. But if we don't bring him back, we don't really have the replacement on the roster right now. We'd have to probably go out. So when you look at the top paid defensive ends in the league, because that's what he's in free agency as, and I'll also include people like Aaron Donald and Chris Jones and DeForest Buckner. First off, let's get the people comparable to him as far as position and what they do. Aaron Donald is at $22 million a year. DeForest Buckner, I think, is at $21 million a year. And Chris Jones is at $20 million a year. And he has comparable stats to all of those guys except for Aaron Donald. Chris Jones has a 15.5 sack season in his holster, I guess you can say. But when you look at the other top defensive ends, these are all pure edge guys. Joey Bosa, $27 million. Myles Garrett, $25 million. DeMarcus Lawrence, $21 million. Frank Clark, $20 million. Trey Flowers, $18 million. And when you start to see the first kind of defensive end 3-4 guy, he's at $17 million. And I think that's the sweet spot for Leonard Williams to get $17 million. But I think that Leonard Williams is going to look at what Aaron Armstead is getting paid. He's not taking the same thing. He's not taking this old contract. He's not going to take this same contract. So he's going to be looking at Aaron Donald. He's going to be looking at Chris Jones. And he's going to be looking at DeForest Buckner. They're all over $20 million. And I think that's what he's going to ask for. 21 to $22 million a year. And that's fair because the market goes up every single year. Salary cap, being down because of the virus and salary cap being up. It doesn't matter. You can move money around and that money will be pushed backwards. But he's going to look for an average of around 20-something million a year. And will the Giants pay him that? The Giants are not in the best position to dump that kind of money on a guy who's an interior pass rusher who's solid. He got 11. I mean, to get that many sacks from the interior is very impressive. But do we dump that much money into him? I mean, he's had a 7-sack season and he's had an 11.5 sack season with us. But the past 2 seasons, a half a sack. I mean, 2019 well, not the past 2 seasons. The past 2 seasons, he has 5.5 sacks. The year before that, he had 2 sacks. So he has not been, he started off, people kind of considered him a bust, but he's kind of had a revival here. So will he take that kind of discount to stay here? He's been in the same stadium. He's been playing in the same stadium since he's a rookie. So will he want to take that discount to stay here? I don't think he will. I think that he's going to want that $22 million, and I think somebody's going to give it to him. Now, that's unless we franchise him. So that's a big decision that Dave Gettleman is going to have to make. People like Chris Jones and people like Aaron Donald, I feel, are in a separate category. I mean, Aaron Donald is like up here. Chris Jones is like right here. And, everybody else is down here. And these are elite Pro Bowl level guys. So I'm not sure if we should give him that money. Because as I look at the receivers, as I look at people like Kenny Golladay, people like Curtis Samuel, as I even look at corners, As I look at other, outside pass rushers that are going to be free agents that we can target, as I look at, maybe going after J.J. Watt in the trade. And J.J. Watt can play that exact same position, definitely at a cheaper price. And I think he could pretty much do exactly what Leonard Williams is doing. This guy's a Hall of Famer. I know he's getting a little long in the tooth. Melvin Ingram is a free agent. Bud Dupree's a free agent. Shaq Barrett's a free agent. When you look at some more guys, J.D. Clowney, I'm not so sure. Justin Houston's a more of an older guy. Ngakoue, Ryan Kerrigan has been interesting for me to look at. Olivier Vernon, he's not probably coming back here. Leonard Floyd is a free agent. So you've got a ton of edge rushers who I feel the edge rushers make a bigger impact on the game as far as just in the pass rush. And you got a ton of these guys who are going to come in at less than $20 million a year. Leonard Floyd is not getting $20 million a year. Melvin Ingram is not getting 20. Maybe he'll get that. But I really doubt that Bud Dupree coming off an ACL is going to get $20 million a year. So if you want to say that we have to maintain this pass rush, I think you look at Bud Dupree. I think you look at Melvin Ingram, Matt Judon, even Kerrigan. These older pass rushers consistently continue to get pressure. It happens all the time. People think they're washed and they have, 11 sack seasons still in them. So it's going to be tough to really convince me that we need to pay someone who's an interior pass rusher $20 million. I would love for him to be back at 17. I would love for him to be back at 16. And if we pay him $20 million, you're not going to see a Diggy, rant video of me saying we made a horrible mistake and, the sky is falling and the Giants suck because of this. You're not going to see that. But I will, kind of question what we're doing because you're paying him $20 million. I mean, a guy like this, you traded for him, you're invested in him. So if you pay him $20 million, $22 million, because he's probably going to ask for more than what those top guys are getting right now because their contracts are going to come up soon. But if you pay him that 20 plus million, then, Saquon's contract is coming up. Is he really more valuable than Saquon? Is he really more valuable? Some people might debate that because Saquon's a running back, but I really don't know if he's more valuable if we can use Saquon the way he needs to be used. Daniel Jones is coming up. We could have a top flight receiver that we can sign in free agency that could be, extended over the next 3-4 years. Kenny Golladay, Allen Robinson, Curtis Samuel. There's a lot of things we could do with this money, and there's a lot of ways we can go if we want to dial up and, kind of double down on the pass rush. We could get literally, might be able to get Bud Dupree and someone like J.J. Watt and fit that, under $22 million a year. So you guys let me know what you think. Should we be aggressively trying to bring back Leonard Williams? I know he was a monster this year. Believe me, I know. But should we be wanting to pay Leonard Williams over $20 million a year? You guys let me know what you think. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 Squad member. If you're a D6 Squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.